Good morning to all of you. Uh, so today in the class of data communication, we have completed a topic in the previous classes. A module was completed. Now we are going to class. We are going to start a new topic today that we have discussed in yesterday. That is error detection and correction. So the topic or the module of discussion today we are going to start, that is error correction and detection. So in this part of this error correction and detection, we are going to see that how the things actually get error. Actually the thing is, suppose we are transmitting a data and the path may be a wired or wireless anything. So while the transmission is happening through a wireless mode, considering the data can be tampered, the message can have some bug or error, and maybe from the sender side it was sent correctly, but while at the transmission, during the time of transmission, it was bugged or error, and then the data that was received by the receiver have a error data. So if the data is error, then that is of no use, that is particularly of no use. Then so we need to check the data whether it is correct, whether whatever the data was actually a genuine data was sent by the sender was actually received or not. So that are the scenarios we need to look out for. So this process of this error correction and error detection, first we need to detect an error, and secondly we need to correct that particular error. So how we can do that, what is the process, what are the technique procedures, all we are going to follow or going to discuss in this particular part of this data communication. So starting with that, first we need to know that what are the types of errors we can get, or what are the types of errors that can happen at the time of transmission. So first things we need to know the types of errors. Here there are basically two types of error are there. One is known as single bit error, and second one is known as burst error. This two type of error is actually present in the process of this type of error, single bit error and burst error. What happened in this part of this single bit error? Considering I want to send a data, fine. So the data or the message is something 00000010 0 0 0 0 0 0 1 0. So consider that data I at the send is trying to send, right? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 one more. So this data was going to send from the sender side. Okay, consider this is the thing sent from the sender side. Now while the process of transmission, the scenario is at the transmission, one of its data, any one of its data means the bit, any one bit of the data gets corrupted or gets changed. Any one bit of the data gets corrupted or gets changed. So considering that, suppose this 0 gets changed, this 0 is getting changed, and now the data was something like this 0 0 0 0 0 1 1 0. So this data was actually get changed, right? And how it is changed? It gets by the corruption. The bit was corrupted, and then this message was actually received by the receiver. But the sender have sent this type of data. The original data was this, but while the process of transmission, this bit actually, this 0 bit gets corrupted. This 0 bit gets corrupted and it was converted into the process of 1. So 0 transferred to 1, and that's how the bit gets changed or bit gets errored and the whole message, the concept of whole message or the data gets changed actually, right? So what happened in single bit error? That only one bit, any one of the bit, any one bit of the message is going to change or corrupt it. So what it can be, there will be two process, anything first, like if any one, any zero actually can get changed, zero can get changed to one, or second scenario is one can get changed to zero. So these are the two scenarios. There are the message when it is sending through a digital mode, it is the consistence of 0 and 1, combination of 0 and 1. So either the 0 is going to change to 1 or respectively vice versa, 1 can be changed to 0. So but the case is, the scenario or the condition is in the process of single bit error, one bit at a time will change. Only one bit is going to change. So not like the two or more bits, only one bit. When one bit is going to be changed or getting transferred from its vice versa bit actually, then it is known as the single bit error. And either the zero will be converted to one or the one will be converted to zero. Means actually it gets corrupted. So by the corruption of process, the zero is getting one or one is getting zero, or any one bit is getting changed, and so the whole message is going to be changed. The combination of the message is going to be changed. That is known as a single bit error. And the second part, that is an burst error. The second process, that is an burst error. Considering that in the process of burst error, I am trying to send a data something like this: 0 1 0 0 1 1 0 1 0 1 0 0 1 1 0 1 0 1 0 0 0 0 1 1. Consider this type of message I'm going to send. It was transmitted by the sender side. What happened in burst error? That is, in single bit, only one bit of the message is getting changed, right? But in the process of burst error, minimum number of bits that can change is 2, and more than 2 bits can be changed. So 2 or more bits in the data may get changed. Changing in process again the same, that either 0 to 1 or 1 to 0. But the number of bits that is getting changed here is more than 2, minimum number of 2 or more than 2. So 2 or more than 2 bits is going to change from either 1 to 0 or 0 to 1. So this burst error is occurring when there is a multiple bit. When multiple bits are getting changed, then it is the burst error is happening. So why it is the reason the burst error is happening actually? Why the process of burst single bit error is happening in a small transmission message? Small message when it's transmitted, maybe the chances of single bit error is happening, but the burst error happens when the duration of the transmission is very longer. And when the duration of the transmission is very longer, the noise can affect the data very much, because it has enough time to affect the data. So duration of noise will also be longer. So duration of transmission is longer, so that duration of noise is also longer. Then this burst error actually happens. So this longer data transmission, when it is happening, the noise can affect the data, affecting the data in the term of affecting the bits, affecting the data bits. So the noise is affecting the data bits, and then the number of corrected bits can be high. So the more than 2, minimum 2 or more than 2 bits can be changed. So considering the message that was sent, that is trying to send from the sender side, that is this message. Now the transmission, as it is a long message, we can see. So when it is actually transmitting, considering this 0 gets changed to 1, then 1 1 0, then this 0, then again 0 1 0 0 1 0 1 0. So we can see that multiple occurrence of changes, multiple bit changes happen. Where it is changed? So first one, it is fine, 1 0. This 0 has changed here, right? Then 1 1 0. This 1 gets changed to 0 again. 0 1 0 0. Then 0 is transferred to 1. 1 gets transferred to 0. So this multiple changes we can see is happening in the process of burst error. So single bit error, only one bit can change, and the message is the single bit error happens when the transmission is for a small, shorter period, shorter time period. But when it is a longer data transmission is happening, and that have the noise can have full power to affect the data bits, then the multiple bits can be changed, and then it is known, or then this process is known as burst error. So in the case of burst error, the noise plays an important role or plays a part here to affect the data or to corrupt the bit of the message, the data bit of the message. Right. So these two type of error is actually present. One is known as single bit error, and another process is known as burst error. Now, the next, the part that is known as the data redundancy. Redundancy, the next part here that is incorporate with this particular topic, that is redundancy. So redundancy, this term was already known to you people in your fourth semester when you have studied database management system. I hope all of you remember the redundancy, the term data redundancy. So can anyone tell me what is data redundancy? If I ask in the term of DBMS, what is data redundancy?
Sir, repetition of data.
Repetition of data. So is the repetition of data is known as data redundancy, or the process to reduce the repetition of data is known as data redundancy?
Process of reducing.
So there can be multiple data can present, multiple similar type of data, or the cloning of data we can talk about, right? So when in a database management system, data gets entered, data gets randomly, or the data, rows and columns or gets filled up, right? But by the time it happens that maybe there are same type of data is present many times, right? But a proper database or an ideal database, it is not actually giving us this flexibility to have multiple same type of data. So what we do is actually when the same types of data exist in multiple places, then we can say this data redundancy is actually occurs. So data redundancy is occurs when there are same piece of data exist in multiple places. But we need to reduce that, and there are some process in the part of database management system to control all the things, right? So there are another scenario that is the part of database management system. But what I'm asking that you people are aware of the term about this redundancy. What is the term redundancy means? Same the thing is the concept is detecting and correcting those errors. So in the case of DBMS, finding out same type of data repeated times is an error, and we need to detect that error, we need to correct the error, and the same thing is happening in the process of this data redundancy. But the difference is that here we are not going to find out any same or multiple type of similar type of data repeated, right? What we are trying to find out that the corrupted bit, we need to find out the corrupted bit, right? So this data redundancy, the central or the main concept is to detect and correcting the errors. So we can say redundancy is termed here as detecting and correcting the errors. So it is known as the part of redundancy. So this part, in this part of this redundancy, the bits, the corrupted bits actually with the data, it gets actually incorporate with the data. So we need to find out those corrupted bits, right? Otherwise, the message we are not going to get the genuine or the original message that was sent by the sender side. What happened in the process of this redundant bit? Some extra bits means the process, the original message that was sent from the sender side. With respect to that original message, some extra added bits were there that is added into the message, and that is going to be sent from the sender side to detect and correct those errors. Some extra bits along with the message was sent by the sender to detect and correct those errors. And these extra bits are known as the redundant bits. So some extra bits the sender was incorporating along with the message to find out any type of the error if it is detected or to correct the error. Okay, because at the time of transmission maybe it happened. So those extra bits are going to be helped here. That bits are known as the redundant bits, and those extra redundant bits are actually helping us to find out the data error or the data correction, to detect the error and then correct the error. That is known, or that is the bits are known as the redundant bits. We call as this redundant bits. So these redundant bits are actually, as I said, added by the server. It is added by the server, and those added data, whatever we have added, that is actually removed by the receiver at the receiver side. So this redundant bits, some extra added binary digits that is transferred along with the data. So to ensure that no bits actually get lost during the data transfer or data transmission process, can protect the total message. We can say the part of this redundant bits useful is to protect the message and also to find out if any type of error was detected or need to be corrected. So how these things is happening, we are going to see, because there are several process of Hamming code and this type of things. We are going to see one by one. So this error detection, there are two processes I am talking about every time. That is one, detection, and second one is correction. Two terms, and by the combination of two terms, this module was designed. So detection and the correction, two things need to be done. So we cannot correct anything till the time we are not detecting that particular error, right? So considering a simple example of programming, right? Suppose you are doing a C programming, you have write a very code. Suppose I have tell you to add two numbers, and you people are doing all the code very quickly, right? Now, by doing it very quickly, a competition that who wants to show first, who I wants to show first, and all of you are doing very fast. But while doing the thing, you make a silly error, very small error that is not actually permitted. But while the logic and all the things are same, all the things are totally correct, but while the time of compilation, you people are getting an error. So if you are not getting an error, then it is very hard to detect the to control the error, to solve the error. Sometimes it's happened in the case of programming that all the things are perfectly fine. The logic, the syntax, the things, each and everything is perfectly fine. But still, after the compilation, we are not getting any error, but also we are not getting any type of result. It happens. Sometimes it happens. Maybe every one of you have faces it at one particular moment, that all the things are good, no error is there, no warning is there, but still our output is not getting, our thing is not actually get executed. So that time the detection of error was tough. So we need to detect the error and need to solve that error. So two part, error detection. First scenario, we need to detect the error, whatever the error is happening. Second part, error correction. After the detection of the error, we need to correct it. So error detection, what is the part that first we are checking after the data transmission from the sender to the receiver side, whether any bits of the data was getting error or not, whether any error occurred or not. There can be very simple answer. Either it will be yes, either it will be found that yes, there is an error, either it will be not found, no, there is not an error. So the thing is here, if we are looking only in the part of error detection, whether there is an error or not looking any other thing, just a simple scenario in the part of this error detection, whether there is any error or not. So the thing in the part of detection is happening, what we are looking for, whether there is any error or not. How we can find it? It is very easily with the term or the thing is very easy that if the sender, the original message and the message received by the receiver, if the message is not used or whatever the message is received by the receiver after decoding it, after decoding the message, looks like the message is not what I'm looking for, then we can assume that there is an detection, there is an error is happening, right? So in the part of this detection process, the error detection, we only detect whether there is an error or not. And in the process of correction, we need to know exactly the number of corrupted bits and the location of the bits also in the message. Because if we don't identify these two conditions, then we cannot correct the part, right? So what happened in the process of correction? We need to know exact number of bits that are corrupted, and second one, the location of the corrupted bits. If we don't identify these two things, then we cannot correct the scenario, because if after the time of correction if we have changed or we have correct a correct bit into a wrong bit, then there is a problem. So we need to first check out or look out what is the exact number of bits that are corrupted and what is the location of the bits in the message. What is the location of the corrupted bits in the message? So here the thing is two important factors we can talk about. One is the number of errors and the message size. So these two factors is helping or considered here to find out the error correction process, number of errors and the message size. So this term or this process by the thing is the part. The redundancy we are talking about here, it can be achieved or it can be find out by the term or by some processes through various coding schemes, right? The redundancy we can achieve through various coding schemes actually. So as I said, the sender added some redundant bits to the original message, data bits of the message. So this redundant bits that was added by the sender to the transmission, this actually creates or helping or create a bond between the redundant bits and the data bits, because the whole thing is actually added in with the message. So the total thing is considering as now a message. So when it is transmitted through the transmission medium, the whole thing will be considered as a message. So the redundant bits will create a bond between the data bits and this redundant bits, and the receiver, when it is received in the receiver side, it checks the bond or it checks the relation between the redundant bit and the data bit. So this redundancy bit that was added in the database of the messages in the original message or incorporated in the original message, that redundancy bit is helping us to find out the detection or the correction of the errors. So what factors or how it is helping here? The redundancy bit is helping to find out the error or correction. The ratio of redundant bits to the data bits. How we can do it? The first thing is ratio of redundant bits to data bits. Ratio of redundant bits to the data bits. And second one, robustness of the process. Second one, robustness of the process. So these two factors are present there to find out or helping us to check the error or detect the error and find out the error correction. So there are two types two coding scheme actually we can say that is helping us to find out this process. To find out this process or to calculate the error and the detection, two actually coding scheme actually we are talking about. Two type of coding are present. The two type of codings, what is one is a block coding and second one is the convolution coding. So block coding and convolution coding is helping us to find out the error or to detect an error. Two type of coding process, block coding and convolution coding. These two type of coding scheme are available or are present to find out this error or to detect an error. Then what happens? Let's see one by one the process. What happened in the case of block coding and what happened in the case of convolution coding. First, block coding. Just a minute. So in the process of this block coding, what happened here? The whole message that was sent by the sender, the total message first divided into some k bit blocks. So first thing is here, the total message divided into some k bit blocks. So the message that was sent by the sender, the whole message was divided, and these blocks, the k blocks, each of the data blocks, each of these k blocks is known as the data words. The blocks is known as the term of data words. So whatever the blocks we have created, that is known as the data words. So this blocks of the data word was created first. Now the redundant bit, whatever the redundant bits we are going to send from the sender, the redundant bits means it is sending by the sender side. So some redundant bits are added to each block. Each block means the whatever the k blocks we have actually divided, to each block some redundant bit was added. The redundant bits are added to each block and making the length will be some difference. So first, if we consider that before adding the redundant bits, the length of the message of which what, if we consider the length of the message as n, the before the adding of this redundancy bit, the length of the message is k, right? Simply because it was divided into some k bit blocks. So total of this we can say that k, right? So summation of all the k. Now each of the bits, each of these data was actually were added with some redundant bits. So what is the length of each data bits now? If we consider one length, if we consider it is as one data word, this n, the length of one data word, that is n, and the size of the block is k. Now adding some redundancy bit, consider it as r. The length of the message is now k plus r, right? So k is the block, one block size, and r is some redundancy bit that was added. So now the total thing is k plus r or one block. So the length of one block we can say that is n equal to k plus r, n equal to k plus r. This n bits of blocks, the result in the total k plus r here, that is known as the code word. So this k term is known as the data word. Now after adding some redundancy bit into the term of k plus r, this n, the total n is known as the code words. Some redundancy bits was added and after that the length was k plus r and it is known as the code word. Now this n is actually greater than k. N means the total size. Previously at the initial n is equal to k, right? At the initial stage this n is equal to k because at the starting there was no redundancy bit added, it was just divided into k parts. So n equal to k. Now after adding some redundancy bit, the scenario is n greater than k. So this number or the possible this code word is larger than the data word. So code word as n greater than k. So we can easily state that this code word is larger than the data word. Then the block coding process was happening. In the process, the first of all, it was created some blocks and then the redundancy bit was added. Then the block coding process is going to be happening. The data word are or encoded with some code word. because means the data word was actually changed into some code word, right? After adding some redundancy bit, the data word gets changed to some code word. And the process, the code word we are going to send, or the total things when it is gets transmitted, this code words will be helping us to identify through the process when the message is transmitting, identify the error bits or the detection of the error, or if there is any type of problem that will be detected. So two parts will be there. One is for the sender side and second one is the receiver side, right? And whatever this thing is happening, this unrelated data in transmission, some noise will be affected. All the things that is happening actually, that is happening in the unreliable transmission, means some wireless communication. In the wired communication, it is not possible, at least it's through going some physical set of devices and the said link was created. So there will be very less chances to do that. But in the case of wireless, this is high chances of this error of the messages. So two part, one is the sender part and another one is the um, receiver part, right? So what happens if we start at the sender side? Starting from the sender side, if we talk about first thing, that was a data word, right? Considering this is a data word. After that data word, then we are adding some redundant bits, making it into a code word. So data word, redundancy bit, making it into some code word. These are the following process, right? So data word, the process, the encoder and some things are happening. So first of all, the data bits considering of k bits, and then after adding some redundancy bit, it was getting transferred into some code word of n, that is k plus r, n equal to k plus r. And these are the parts that is happening in the sender side. This is part of the process of sender side. Now data is going to be transmitted through some wireless mode, considering any unreliable transmission. And then what happened? There is another term, a checker will be there, right? So first of all, that these two things will be same. Some data word will be there, the original message, the code word will be there that was received by the receiver. In between this, a checker will be there to check the process, to check for the redundancy bits, and then to remove the data redundancy bits to get the original message, to get the original message. So this is the part of sender side. It is happening in the sender side, it is happening in the receiver side. Sender and receiver, and this transmission is known as unreliable transmission. I repeat again, this is known as the unreliable transmission. So this unreliable transmission process to the unreliable, some data words first gets converted into some redundancy bits, then that redundancy bits move into the code word, and in the part of that code word is moving to the is going to the process of checker. And the checker, what will do, checker will actually check and remove or discard the redundant bit. Here one more process is going to be happen, that is the discussion of redundancy bit, discard of redundancy bit. So discard of redundancy bits will be happening, and then the original part of this data what will be retrieved. So these two parts that I have drawn in a very simple way, that is a sender and the receiver side. The draw of the things is very simple, but we are going to check all the things, how the process is. It is not so easy. What are the redundant bits? How we can identify the redundant bits? What it can be the process? How we can actually get and remove that redundancy bits? All the things need to know. And the process, there are several processes, that is known as Hamming distance, minimum Hamming distance for the error distance. These are the scenarios that are present, linear block codes. There are several type of these scenarios that are PIT cheat code. This type of process are there, and by these processes we are going to actually find out this process or find out this error, right? So what are the processes, what are the scenario, we are going to see in our next classes, because it will be starting of a new part, new topic. The start we are going to start in the next class, that is from the Hamming distance scenario, how the things actually be calculated and how this error actually can be find out, right? So what happens, that there are two parts at the sender and there is another part of the receiver. So in the sender side, some creates code words of the data words by using some generator, means the redundancy bit adding with the data word, we are creating a code word. Then in simple, I'm telling the process and data transmission, each code word was sent to the receiver. And while the receiver is receiving that code word, then it was using some checker to check the message and discard the redundancy part. Now, how to discard that? Then this Hamming scenario, cyclic code, PIT check code, this other scenario comes in to find out the processes, to find out this code, right? So after this particular part, we are going to talk, we are going to discuss, right? So in the next class, we are going to continue from this particular scenario. So this is all for today's class, and I hope the things we have discussed today was clear to all of you. In case if not, you can ask me later or ask me after the class. So this is the part, or this is up to we are going to talk, we are going to discuss, and I hope that all of you have written your names in the chat box, as I don't need to remember you people that part. You people are already done doing it. So hope all of you have written their names in the chat box. If not, then write your names because the link is going to be, the time is going to be in and link will be disconnected. Fine. So if anyone have misses it, write their names in the chat box. And thank you all for joining into the session. We will meet again after some time with the classes of Linux, right? So thank you all. Meet again after some time.